Hi everyone. So I've been using the new BT Youview T2100 box for the last few days now. So as you've now seen the unboxing, I just thought I'd give a quick review of my thoughts to see if it's something that you might be interested in buying yourself. So first things first, as I mentioned in the unboxing video, it is a much smaller unit than the old T1000 box that some of you may still have, which does make it a lot easier to fit into your setup, which is nice. It certainly has better ventilation as well. It has lots of slits in it to help with airflow. There's no fan built in now, so that does reduce on the sound, but obviously it does then need better cooling in some other ways, and it does run a lot cooler than the old box. The old box simply relied on the fan, otherwise it was perfectly sealed, and it did store a lot of heat within it. There are buttons on the top, so you can click on those if your remote runs out of batteries or you lose the remote, which is quite handy. The other one had buttons, but they never seemed to work. I don't think they were intended to be buttons, although I never found a way to get them working anyway. The initial setup is very easy. It's the same connections on the back as you would be used to on the other Youview box. HDMI cable obviously to connect to your TV or AV receiver. There's obviously a power cable, and as I mentioned in the unboxing, it is a separate power cable, so you simply plug it in and you can take the box with you without the power cable if needed, which is quite handy. You can have a spare one elsewhere. It does need an Ethernet cable, and again, for some reason they're refusing to put Wi-Fi adapter into the box itself. Everything seems to be going that way now, but Youview boxes are still in the past in that respect. You do need to use an Ethernet cable. Now the one in the box provided is quite long, but that's only if you're setting up the Youview box in the same room as your router. You're still going to have to trail the cable around the room somehow. If, like me, you've got the router downstairs and your Youview box upstairs, you're going to have to invest in some power lines. There's no other way around it. You can't even buy a Wi-Fi adapter to stick into the back of the Youview box. The Youview box comes with two USBs. It would be a nice simple addition, but they refuse to include that in there. So do be warned about that. And internet is quite crucial for these boxes because the guide and your recordings draw information from the internet to update them, so you will need to have some kind of connection there. Now the software itself is exactly the same as any other Youview box. It is uniform across the range, and I can't really spot anything different from my old T1000. It just runs a lot quicker, and that's the good thing about this box. Everything's very speedy. If you type in the channel number, it does it immediately, which is good in my book. Now I mentioned setup was easy to do. On first booting up though, once you first turn the box on, it will take I think around 2 minutes to actually get to a stage where you can start using it. So it is quite a long boot up time. That is from having been completely powered down to getting to the stage of setting it up. The setup is really easy, not many options to go through. You will obviously need to do a scan for channels. You'll need to enter your postcode to make sure you get the right region of channels going on your box. And you also need to run an update as well. So you will need to run that update to make sure your box software is up to date as possible. But the whole setting up process, I would say, takes around 3 to 4 minutes. It doesn't take long at all. Obviously it depends on the speed of your internet for how quick the update goes, but the searching of channels was done in no time at all. Now this brings me on to another problem. It takes a long time to turn on initially, and if you keep it in eco mode, so obviously using the least power possible, and you want to come out of standby, it will take you up to about a minute. So it is quite a long time to boot up. Now there is a low eco mode or a high power mode, and that means it's always ready, so your standby will turn on in about, I think I timed it around 5 seconds, which is much more like it. But I think what the new update has included, because this isn't mentioned in the guidebook at all, is a smart mode, which means that you can have it on high power mode throughout the day. So if you want to quickly get onto the telly, you can do so in about 5 seconds. And then it can go into a low power state overnight, which is good. because obviously you don't need the TV at that point, and it is saving energy overnight, but you can still do your recordings if you've set something for the middle of the night, and you can change the times to suit what you need best. So that is quite a nice feature, and certainly better than the other box. Now you'll notice from the picture here there are LEDs on the front. They are super bright. That's one criticism I do have with this box. So it's not ideal if you don't like light shining in your room when you're trying to go to sleep. So I've put it down low, which won't affect too much, but it is noticeable. It does light up somewhat the corner that it's located in. Now this light denotes that it's on, and it will change colour depending on what power state you're in. So I think it shines red when it's in standby for eco mode, and I've got it for purple, which means it's high power mode. This light here, it's a nice little feature. It shows you when you're recording a channel or channels. That's another criticism of the old box. There was no indication that you were recording, so you weren't sure if your recording had gone through or not, particularly if you sent it through the phone app. And this one here shows when it's connected to the internet, so you know you've got your internet connection there. If it doesn't shine, then you're going to have to look into options of why it's not connected. Now I won't talk into the details of the software. You can look into that yourself if needed, but it may be a case that you're upgrading Youview boxes. The software is exactly the same. I haven't spotted anything different in that respect. So the recording, the flicking back through the guide, which is Youview's key kind of unique selling point, but nothing really changes there. It's just a whole lot speedier. They've had a processor upgrade, which makes everything works more smoothly, and the animations bringing up the menu, that all seems a bit more smooth. So overall it's a nice little box. It does have a number of apps that you can use. It has Netflix built in. Obviously you will need a subscription to Netflix. You can access all the BT video stuff, but that will be charged at extra cost to you. I think that's what BT are sometimes hoping from their broadband customers, that they will buy through that stream. There's obviously BBC iPlayer, ITV Hub, all of the terrestrial channels are represented there with their players. The only thing I noticed that was lacking was Amazon Video. So if you're using this box as a be-all and end-all to all of your players in one place, Amazon Video isn't featured on here, unfortunately. Now the remote itself, like I said, when I did the unboxing, it is much more compact. I do like the design of the buttons, and certainly the number buttons are easier to press in quick succession. I did find on the old one, trying to type in something like 101, you couldn't quite do it quick enough sometimes before it jumped in and switched to channel 1 or channel 10. The only criticism of this one is the directional keys are kind of surrounded by other buttons, and particularly I found the down arrow, you can sometimes accidentally press the back button by mistake. So I don't like the design so much of that, but overall it's nice and easy to use. The Youview button is easy to access, and that's the button you press to access all of your settings and accessing all of your recordings that you've got on the box, as well as your web players, so your BBC iPlayer and ITV Hub and so on. Another feature I like with this box, and this is true of all Youview boxes, you can download the Youview app. So if you're out and about and you've forgotten to set a recording, then you can set a recording through your app on your phone, which is quite handy. The only thing is that you can't be in eco mode for that to work. The box needs to be in its high power state, so it's ready to go state, so it can receive that recording through the internet connection. A few more features that I like the fact that you can hide channels within the guide itself. I'm not sure if that was possible in the old version of the software, but I've discovered it on this box and it's quite useful to use. So if there are random channels that you're never going to watch, like the shopping channels or the adult channels, if you want to hide those away, then you can do those with the press of a button, which is quite handy. It does have lots of other features as well. Subtitles and audio description are very easily accessible just through buttons on the remote control, and there is a help button on the remote as well, and that connects to the internet and draws commonly asked questions from the internet, which you can get your problem answered quickly. Another good thing about the internet connection itself is that the guide is populated very quickly and has lots of details and tells you upcoming screenings of that same show as well, so the information is quick and readily available. So overall, very good box. I do like Youview. There is other competition on the market, and you may look into those options instead, but I do like the fact that it's easy to use. You can record many channels at once. I think it's 2 channels and then watch another one, and it does have an output for the aerial, so you can get a TV connection on your TV as well. So you could record the 2 channels. If those clash, because sometimes you can't watch that 3rd channel, you can then just turn on your TV and watch it on there instead. So it's quite handy there. The only problem is it could be quite expensive. Youview boxes, I think they're around the £120 mark, possibly more. If you are a BT customer though, it is very good value, I would think. I think the normal TV package is around £10 a month, so you get the Youview box technically for free, and then you pay for the TV subscription, so you'll get several extra channels including AMC and things like Comedy Central and the Discovery Channel, those sorts of things. So if you are a BT customer, it's certainly worth looking into. You sign up for a 12-month contract, so it'll cost £120 in total basically, and you do get to keep the box at the end of the contract, so you can cancel the TV afterwards. Now, I managed to get it when the Entertainment Plus package was £5 a month, so I've got a very good deal of getting this box for 60 quid. And if you can find that deal come up again sometime, you may want to wait. It's only just ended, so you might want to wait just a little bit more and wait to see if that deal comes up. But certainly 60 quid for this box is a no-brainer. So certainly worth looking into. I quite like using it. I am biased in a way because I've always had a Humax box of some sort, and Youview's just the natural progression on from the older style Humax boxes. So I hope you've found this review useful. Please subscribe if you want more reviews of different products coming up. I'm going to review this monitor at some point, and the Moto G4 phone. I'll try and keep my reviews as simple as possible, try and reduce down on the techno babble, and say it as it is really, and show my thoughts and how good the product actually is. So, thanks for watching.